Okay. All right. How are we all doing? My name is Legend and welcome to my stream. So, if you are in Kenya, I know you've heard of this story of Albert Ojwang. Rest in peace. And the autopsy is out, and it has revealed a lot of shocking things that we are going to discuss here. Of course, it's a sad thing. Whatever happened, condolences to the family. But now I want to go through what actually happened and what the autopsy has revealed today, because the autopsy has been done just a few hours and it has been ruled not a suicide. If you remember the initial thought or the initial report by the police service was that he hit his head on the wall, sustained injuries, and then he was taken to Mbagathi Hospital. But clearly, the autopsy revealed something else. It reveals he was badly beaten. It reveals he was choked. It reveals he had he had a broken jaw, hit from both sides. He had fragments in his bone fragments in the skull, internal bleeding. His spine was bleeding. So, yeah, it's very, if you read the autopsy, it's very shocking about how he died. And of course, Kenyans are shocked. They are shooketh. Me, myself, I'm shooketh that a post that you can make, of course, we had Musalia Mudavadi a few days ago talking about be careful what you post on social media. It can cost you a job. But now we are finding out it can cost you more than your job. Here in Kenya in 2025, posting on social media could actually cost you your life, right? I'm not going to talk about the politics. I'm not going to talk about anything. You just make your own conclusions from what we go through. But regardless of anything, right? Whatever happened to Albert Ojwang was not okay. And I do hope that whoever did this, justice can be served. Because, of course, it doesn't matter who you are, even if you're police, even if you're who, you should be there. If the law works, you should be able to face, the charges, if there are any charges. If there's, now we need to know, because he was beaten, right? He was strangled. We need to know. So if it's not who did it, right? And whoever did it, Yeah. So it's not going to be a very lively, it's going to be a sad stream. As we go through the facts, as we go through what has happened. If you're joining my chat, please comment on what you think is happened to this young man. He was 31. He was a teacher. He had a kid, a small child. He was recently married. Yani, he had his whole life ahead of him. And then, just like that. It's sad. I think for me, I'm just sad. Yeah. And I don't know what to say, because Yeah. Okay, guys. Let's start with you. You can leave a comment. Let's start with the actual autopsy, okay, and what it says, and then we can work our way back to what happened that night, and then we can also, listen to what people are feeling. What are the comments? There have been a few protests going on, and if you're joining the chat, please, let's converse, share what you're feeling, share your opinion. I'm here. We will talk. We will, we'll share what you're feeling, right? And what we think about this situation. Okay. So let's go. Okay. So this is, I'm getting this from Cyprian's page, yeah? Because he's posted a detailed report of what happened. He says, autopsy confirms Albert Ojwang was beaten and killed. Doctors found his head was badly injured. His neck was pressed. He may have been strangled. He had broken bones in the head, bleeding inside the brain, bruises on his jaw, both sides, blood in his spine, marks of being beaten all over his body. The report is very clear that Albert did not kill himself. And if you want to take a look at the report, here it is. It says what happened to respiratory system, left side. I can't read, but basically, this was the autopsy of what happened, right? It says that his neck was, it wasn't suicide. Okay? Because let's look at the original report from the National Police Service, okay? And this was 2 days ago on Saturday, right? Was it Saturday night or was it Sunday morning? Around that time. Okay. Here it is. It says X into brackets Twitter influencer Albert Ojwang dies in police custody after arrest of a social media post. The National Police Service has confirmed that blogger Albert Omondi Ojwang, who was arrested for false publication, died from head injuries while in custody at Central Police Station. This is the actual report, Office of the Inspector General, National Police Service. And note, it says from head injury while in custody at Central Police Station. Albert was arrested in, was it Kisumu? He had gone to visit his folks. And then he found himself in Nairobi. Okay? This is the press statement by the National Police Service. It says, National Police Service for immediate release, clarification on the death of Albert Omondi Ojwang. The National Police Service has noted reports circulating on social media regarding the death of suspect allegedly in custody at Central Police Station, Nairobi. The National Police Service confirmed that Albert Ojwang was lawfully arrested by the DCI detectives for false publication and placed in custody. While in custody, the suspect sustained head injuries after hitting his head against the cell wall. Police officers on duty promptly noticed the injuries and rushed him to Mbagathi Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. In line with statutory requirement, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, has launched an investigation into the incident. NPS reaffirms its commitment to upholding constitutional standards of human rights and fundamental freedoms. So that was 2 days ago. I think that's either on Sunday or on Saturday at night. That's when the news broke, and they claim that he hit his head. Okay? And of course, that was that was what people that was the thing that the autopsy was supposed to reveal. Okay, now let's listen to the Inspector General here.
Events that led to the death of Albert Ojwang. On Friday, 6th June 2025.
Friday.
Albert Ojwang was arrested in Homa Bay.
He was arrested in Homa Bay.
Detectives for the offense of false publication. Records indicate that he was transported to Nairobi.
He was transported to Nairobi
by officers from the DCI headquarters on Saturday. He was later booked at the Central Police Station at Ojwang'S book number 136/7/6/2025 at 21:35 hours. During a routine cell inspection, Ojwang was found unconscious. He was immediately led to Bagathi Hospital for treatment, as documented at Ojwang'S book number 9/08/06 of 2025 at 01:39 hours. Upon arrival, he was declared dead. Given the circumstances surrounding the incident, it was necessary to investigate the death in accordance with regulations governing death in police custody. And in line with the statutory requirements, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, was duly notified to commence investigations. Additionally, to ensure a thorough, impartial, and expeditious investigations by the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, I ordered the interdiction of the following officers with immediate effects. Number one is the officer commanding.
So these are the officers involved.
The duty officer who was on duty during the night in question, the cell sentry on duty at the time, all officers who were on duty at the report office that night, and any other officer found to have been on duty or otherwise involved during the incident. The National Police Service remains committed to upholding the rule of law, human rights, transparency, and accountability within the service. And we will provide all the necessary support to the independent investigative agencies in order to resolve this case, and we will provide further updates as the investigation progresses. The National Police Service condoles with the family and friends and relatives of the late Albert Ojwang, and asks for their patience as we get to the bottom of this matter. Thank you very much.
Ojwang was arrested together with a few others. It's because there was a complaint that had been launched.
So he was arrested on Friday.
His name being tarnished.
He was arrested on Friday, brought to Nairobi on Saturday and questioned in DCI headquarters, and then taken to Central Police Station. And then that night is when he was found unconscious. So anywhere between Homa Bay to Nairobi, anything could have happened, right? And of course, we had those officers who, were in trouble or were told to halt after this incident incurred. But now we need to find out what actually happened. Like, who is responsible for this death? Because it cannot be he inflicted all those injuries on himself. You can't choke yourself, hit your head, break your spine, like all those injuries on yourself. Clearly, he was beaten. We need to find what actually happened.
So it is on that basis that investigations were actually being carried out. Because he also have got a right to be protected by the same law. Thank you.
I have a brief chronology of events that led to the death of.
So this is the events that transpired before.
6th June 2025. Albert Omondi Ojwang was arrested in Homabay.
Okay, we have gone through that. We've gone through that. So that's the chronology of events. We have moved from the statement that the police gave, and then I think this is the Inspector General giving the procession of the events, how they went leading up to his death. That was before the autopsy that was done today. All right. Earlier today, we had Raila Odinga condemning the death of Albert Ojwang, saying, "I have been deeply horrified by the reports of a young Kenyan, Albert Ojwang." So this is the statement that Raila Odinga released. Okay, "I've been deeply horrified by reports of a young Kenyan, Albert Ojwang, who was picked from Homabay and driven to his death in police cells in Nairobi over an alleged offensive social media post about a senior police officer. So far, nobody knows who ordered for Mr. Ojwang to be arrested and ferried all the way to Nairobi, and yet that person should be answering to Kenyans. Mr. Ojwang now joins the horrifying long list of young defenseless Kenyans whose lives have been taken too soon, a brutal and senseless circumstance at the hands of the police. While this death caused tremendous pain to individuals and their family, they seriously erode the authority and credibility of the police and the state. And that is a significant step towards chaos and collapse. When citizens can no longer tell the difference between the two forms of injustice, police injustice, mob injustice, we are staring at the reality of failure as a nation. A speedy and credible closure to these latest incidents of injustice in the hands of the police, alongside the many others that have been pursuing since 2023, is not optional. The National Police Service should commit and take concrete actions to hold their own accountable, beginning with the senseless death of Albert Ojwang. So that is Raila Odinga. And that's the sad part, or the horrifying, you genuinely could say anything about anyone and then you find yourself, you're gone, I don't think that is how things should be done, right? That is not how things should go on. I hope that justice will be found. We need to find what actually happened, who did this, and they need to be held accountable. Now, we are going to look at a few reactions from Kenyans, right? What are Kenyans feeling about this situation, especially after the autopsy has come out revealing that this was not a suicide, right? Autopsy shows that Albert Ojwang died due to head injuries, neck compressions, and several soft tissue injuries. Pathologists have ruled out self-inflicted wounds. So this is not suicide. Now let's look at what Kenyans are saying online, right? Let's see. So this is Albert Ojwang's mother. Let's see.
21st anniversary, $20 million giveaway. Enter now and get $20 BF points.
So this is the parents, Albert Ojwang's mother. This is her. She must have been very... very angry. Is this his mother? I don't know. I've just seen the title here. Albert Ojwang'S mother. You know, she seems very hurt. She's crying. So, as you can see, Kenyans are very, very angry, right? Very, very angry at the situation. Let's see a reaction to the autopsy revelation.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm a forensic pathologist.
This is a forensic pathologist. Let's hear what he has to say.
Discipline. High moral. High moral. High discipline. High moral. I'm called Dr. Bernard Midia. I'm a forensic pathologist working here in Kenya. We know why we were here and what has been happening. And we met here to conduct an autopsy. We met here to conduct an autopsy on the late. We were 5 pathologists here with myself as.
So 5 pathologists did it. This was the lead pathologist.
In the process, including IPOA, other human rights organizations, Kenya National High Commission, Human Rights, Kenya Commission on Human Rights, in the Independent Medical Legal Organization, and all important, all interested parties. The family is also here. Now, we are in concurrence with regards to what happened as the cause of death for the late Albert Ojwang. We are sincerely sorry, and we condole with the family and the whole public about what happened. Now, following the autopsy that we've just done for 5 of us, we find that there were serious injuries to the head. There were also features of neck compression.
So
there were also
you have
tissue injuries that were
neck compression,
all over the body,
soft tissue injuries, meaning he was beaten.
upper limbs and the trunk and the lower limbs.
Upper limbs,
These are injuries that externally inflicted from external source.
So he could not have done it to himself.
With assault. Now, upon conclusion, as we don't stop here, we go further to.
For how long did it take?
Well, it's arguable about whether it's sequential, but the time span, it's within a short time. It could be same time, it could be within 1 day, 2 days, or several days, but it's difficult to tell and date them.
So they couldn't tell,
times of space.
but it was within the day, within a day or two.
I know the police gave some unreasonable reason as to why Ojwang died, saying he hit his head on the wall. As an expert and having examined the body, if that were to be the case, what signs would have been consistent with hitting one's head on the wall and that the signs you've seen today completely dismiss that particular narrative?
Well, when I examine the whole the pattern of the injuries, especially on the head, the bleeds, the hematoma that are found on the head, hitting against a blunt substance, a wall, would have a particular pattern, a frontal bleed.
So he didn't even hit his head on the wall.
On the scalp, on the skin of the head, was partially spread on all aspects, including the face, the sides of the head, and also the back of the head. When we tie up together with other injuries that are well spread in the body, including the upper limbs and the trunk, then this is
The trunk is here, or
self-inflicted injury.
upper limbs, that's the hands, eh?
We have found a number of injuries. What I've just mentioned, maybe because of the audience, I'll not describe them here in more detail. But what I would generally state is that there were signs of struggle within that. There were signs of struggle.
So there was signs of struggle. He was defending himself, eh?
For consumption. But they are well described in the report that we'll deliver for consumption, for investigative purposes. Yes.
One last one. I know brief the family. Is the family satisfied?
Yes, we have all of us. We are 5 pathologists, and often we invite pathologists to represent different parties that are interested in this, and the family is well represented, and we are in agreement as to what I'm speaking here now. We are in concurrence, that's to speak.
Can we possibly have a family lawyer?
The family lawyer is here and the president of LSK.
Faith, LSK president, Faith? Tupatie nafasi hapa. Tusonge nyuma kidogo. Daktari. Let's create space.
He lost his life while he was...
Okay. So that was the head pathologist who conducted the autopsy, telling us that it could not have been suicide. He could not have hit his head. It's not self-inflicted. Somebody must have done it to him. Okay, let's see one more reaction here. So this is okay. So this was a political figure, the ODM MP. I don't know her name, but I think she wanted to make a statement, and people refused. Let's check whether we can see any other news here. Okay.
Once autopsy are finally out, and the results have revealed that he died from head injuries, neck compression, and multiple soft tissue injuries. And the pathologists have also revealed that these results are inconsistent with self-inflicted injuries. Yani inamaanisha ile narrative ya suicide kidogo imekuwa, disapproved. So the next question then is who inflicted these injuries?
Yeah, that's the next question. Who did this?
Hi cousins, how's it Tuesday? So here's the latest on Albert Ojwang'S case. The post-mortem is currently underway at the city mortuary, and it's being led by Dr. Caroline Jeru, a government pathologist. Remember, Dr. Johansen Oduor, the chief government pathologist, had earlier recused himself from that case, but then rejoined it, saying that it was important for him to be in that room to offer the family closure.
Is this the guy we have just seen?
Of that post-mortem. Why did he recuse himself initially? Because he says he has family relations with the deceased, and then
okay, so that now the autopsy is out, right? So the post-mortem was what was going on, but it's out now. Since it's not suicide, now we need to find out who was responsible. Who do you think was responsible for this? Because they need to be held accountable, right?
Parents at the Foothills School, which is in...
Right? Because it's a very, very sad situation. Let's see other reactions from Kenyans. What did he post?
Fellow Kenyans, watch what you post on social media.
Okay.
A 3-word statement.
So what did he post?
A 10-word statement. 100-word statement. A mere paragraph. Or a 10-second video. Or 40 seconds video. Or even 1 minute video can cost your life. Look at what's happening now. I'm not saying it might be, but now, are you posting to put things right?
Will he say what he posted?
More likes?
Or is he
What is
just...
your objective? Do you have enough things in the society? Guys, let us be watchful.
So he doesn't say.
The results of Albert Ojwang.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this social media influencer Albert Ojwang'S conversation. So he talked to somebody while he was in police custody. Let's hear what he said. So this is before he went to Central.
Sasa nifike huko. Ufike Nairobi kwanza. Hello? Wanasema tufike Nairobi kwanza.
You can see he's confused.
Kesho tunaweza fika hiyo Central. Sasa sijui kama utakuwa on but maybe ndakamtuni. Tutajua tutapita huko jina pia kwa huko. Kevo pia kwa huko. Mwinde. Kindly man. Acha tutange tanga. Sasa nilikuwa verify information juu watu waniambia alafu wasoka niambia umempigia namba nikamwambia nipe. So ndo nimecall.
You can see he's very confused, like he keeps saying hatunasema. Maybe he was very scared at this moment because it's a scary moment when you get arrested, but you can imagine, he must have been very, very scared.
Wanasema tufike Nairobi kwanza. Kevo pia kwa huko. Mwinde. Kindly man. Acha tutange tanga. Sasa nilikuwa verify information juu watu waniambia alafu wasoka niambia umempigia namba nikamwambia ni
So yeah, amepelekwa Central. This was his first time being arrested as well, because he's asking whether Jesus. Because he was very scared because this was his first time being arrested, and his friend is telling him, "Me nishaishikwa, so don't worry, vitu zitaenda, some things will, but you'll be okay." Can you imagine? Was being reassured you'll be okay, but of course we know he wasn't. This was his first time being in jail, and you can hear he was scared, he was confused, he didn't know what to do. Ngambia utakuwa na challenges but mambo itakuwa fiti. I think he almost can't believe that he's been arrested, that this is happening. You can imagine how that moment is very terrifying. I don't think, like, your head, like, you cannot fathom that you're being arrested. Like, ni kama uko in denial somehow, if I may say. So I'm sure that moment was very terrifying for him. He can't believe that he has to spend a night in jail. If only that was what it was, you know? If it was only about spending a night in jail.
Will I be safe?
You hear him asking, will I be safe? Because he doesn't even know. He's asking if he'll be safe from someone who has been arrested before. Oh. Okay.
Rumande ni safe.
The
Unasikia?
results of Albert Ojwang'S autopsy.
Fellow Kenya.
Did he hear his friend telling him Rumande is safe? Jesus.
Will I be safe?
Imagine.
Rumande ni safe.
The results of Albert Ojwang'.
Anaambia Rumande ni safe. Yep. And just like that. Okay, let's not.
The results. Hi cousins, how's it Tuesday?
This boy died either in the cell or on the way, because he didn't die in.
So Albert Ojwang, so who is this? Professor Ugola reveals after viewing the body. Okay, so this is someone who is giving his opinion on what he thinks was the cause of death.
Bagadi. It is clear that the aggressor was a human being hitting from outside, because when someone is shielding himself with his elbows and arms.
Okay, so that's consistent with what the pathology says. There was injuries on the upper arms, upper limbs, which means he was being hit by something. It could have been a cane. It could have been, so that you can protect yourself. Because the pathologist also said there were signs of struggle. But now we need to find justice. We need to know what happened. Who did this? Who hit him like this?
We saw that somebody was beating him. It can't be that he was beating himself. You cannot be guarding yourself against yourself. So it is impossible. These are already clear signs. Then the injuries, where they are, the head part we don't see. Because how can you hit your head until you get eyes bleeding, your eyes bleeding and your ears bleeding? How do you hit yourself like that? It doesn't happen. The bruises are so consistently around the head area, and the shielding, the guarding with the elbows and the arms are clear, that they are trying to hit his head and he was trying to guard his head, and they managed to do that. So it's very clear. Then secondly, the action taken by police, interdicting the police officers. All that shows that there is somebody culpable. And the fact that Deputy IG is saying he's the complainant, he gave the orders for this boy to be beaten like this. And then we have Kevin, who has been released. We've gotten a lot of information. Even the person, Albert, called when he had been picked by the police on his way to Nairobi. We have a lot of information. So if they bring theirs...
So it seems there was a police officer who gave the order for him to be beaten. Wow.
We shall bring ours.
Kwa nini ulimuua mtoto wangu? Alikukosea nini ambayo inagharimu kifo chake?
So this is the father.
Watu wanaongea kuhusu mambo ya ufisadi, hata ni wengi kabisa katika nchi hii yetu. Kwa nini mtoto wangu pekee abebe, na ni mtoto wangu mmoja wa kipekee?
He was also an only child.
Nielekeza katika maisha iliyobakia. Mtoto wangu nimemsomesha kwa taabu katika kaunti ya Kilifi kwa kazi ya Kware. Nikijinyima kwa ajili ya mtoto wangu kusoma. Alipohitimu nilikuwa nina matumaini. Ndiposa nikatoka huko nikirudi Nyanza nikae nyumbani kwa sababu mtoto amefika mahali pa kunishika mkono. Sasa leo hii umenivunja mkono, umeniua. Kwa nini uniue? Unanidai nini? Amekuibia nini? Hayo ndio maneno ambayo nataka niongee kwako Bwana Eliud.
That's very sad.
So here the details I've managed to piece together from the different narratives regarding that incident in which an ex-influencer called Albert Ojwang from Homa Bay County lost his wife while under police custody. So on Saturday at around midday, police officers in plain clothes...
So he was arrested on Saturday. No, he was
county and picked him up while he was having lunch. Unfortunately, that was the last time his family would see him alive because in the next 18 hours he would be pronounced dead. So when the dad asked the police officers why they were picking him, they told him that alikuwa ametukana mkubwa wao. And when Albert asked why he was being picked, akaomba, polisi wangoje amalize.
So he was arrested for abusing a police officer? Allegedly. Okay.
Kukula kambiwa, hiyo issue hata hawezi ngoja amalize kukula. He was then booked at Mawego police station, but mbio akakuwa transferred wapi? To Central Police Station. That's 300 kilometers away, and whose order bado haijajulikana. Why couldn't he be processed at Mawego police station? Akuwa arraigned in a court in Homa Bay. Hiyo bado haijajulikana. So he was transferred to Central Police Station in Nairobi, and the dad akapanda gari akamfuata juu alikuwa anaona kama mambo ni noma. But akiwa kwa gari inasemekana alipigia beshte yake simu, akamwambia beshte yake ni aje, anzeni kutafuta doma, mimi sijaambiwa nimefanya makosa gani, but tafuteni do ya bail, kama utanipeleka koti mnilipie bail. And the dad akafika Nairobi at around 4 a.m. akafika police station at around 7 a.m. juu 4 a.m. time alifika, bado place alishuka gari wasn't that secure, so he had to wait until daybreak. At around 7 a.m. akafika wapi? Central Police Station. Kufika pale akaanza kuzungushwa, and then at around 10 ndio the chaplain wa the police station akuja na mwambia mazejo, mtoi wako ni kama alipass. But now vitu waziada up. Why?
Can you imagine following your son from home to the police station? How do you even start telling that person that your son is dead? Oh. Okay.
Mtu wake alipass after kugonganisha kichwa yake kwa wall ya cell. So au wanasema the guy ni kama alitake his own life. But this is a guy mwenye on a phone call which was recorded. Alikuwa anafanya nini? Anaambia mabeshte zake, mazee fanyeni nini? Tafuteni bail. Monday nikipelekwa koti, mkuje mfanye nini? Mkuje mnishoe. The next part yenye pia inafanya watu waseme namna gani hapa, kuna maneno hapa, ni the fact that polisi walishindwa wameinsist Albert hakukufia kwa cell, alikufia Mbagathi, hospital. But watu wanashangaa, mbona wana insist hivyo na investigations hazijafanyika? Why are they, mbona wanasema si yao waliua Albert? Mbona wanasema hakukufa kwa police station na no investigation has been done? And third, when lawyers and human rights activists waliomba kuona ni cell gani Albert aligonga kichwa akadedi, wakaambiwa amwezi na hiyo, DCI has taken over the crime scene, so mnaweza yona at 6 p.m. which was yesterday at 6 p.m. But even at that 6 p.m. hawakukubaliwa kuiona. So kuna so much mystery surrounding the case, and that's why there's so much uproar, kuna so much furor.
Na mtazamaji, tafakari hili. Mshukiwa anakamatwa mbele ya wazazi wake na maafisa wa DCI, kisha chini ya saa 24 mzazi anapokea habari.
I don't even know what to say. This has to be the saddest story I've ever, A simple arrest. The next day you're dead. That has to be very painful. Considering even the dad followed him from the moment he was, in his mind, he's like, I was there the whole way. I didn't miss a beat. Probably he's been hearing what happens to people who have been arrested or abducted and no report, So he was like, hapana, mimi lazima nifuatilie mtoto wangu. Even that changed nothing for Albert. One day, oh my God. I hope they find who did this. I really hope so. And I hope justice is served. RIP to him. Condolences to the family. If you just hear, we know our parents have sacrificed everything to educate us. Our parents have sacrificed absolutely everything to educate us, so that in turn we can help them in their old age. So who is going to help Ojwang's father and the mother? He was the only child. How can this happen? This is not the Kenya that I want to live in. It's not the Kenya that any Kenyan should live in. You have a right to due process. You have a right to due process. Yep. Anyway, I'm sorry if it's not like because I had what I was going to say, how I was going to say it, but when I started reading and I started talking about this, it's just it's too much. Yeah, please like and subscribe. I will cut this here.